Are you counting? Hello, one and all, and welcome once again to the Circuit Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix here in the LNR development tier on the F1 2020 game. We are here at the Circuit Zandvoort, as I said, a 4.25 kilometer, 2.64 mile circuit in the principality thing in northern Holland. 14 corners, 2 of them newly banked for the 2020 layout. No current lap record for this layout, but the old record held by Alan Prost in 1985, a 1:16.538 in that McLaren, if you can imagine it. 105,000 virtual fans in attendance for this race, and I am joined once again in the commentary booth by Biggles. Biggles, how's it going?
G'day, mate. Good to be here in a virtual Dutch Grand Prix. It's a pity we couldn't be here in real life this year, because I would have been looking forward to this race. Certainly like curvy and twisty. I'm absolutely hopeless around this track, but that's just me. There's plenty of other people that do it really good. So I think a lot of the drivers, obviously it's yourself as well, do find this track quite challenging, and they do like it, I believe, right?
Personally enjoy this track, but I can't tell you why, because I don't know. It's a weird appeal, but I do quite like it anyway. So, coming into this round, we have Cracky Jr. leading the Drivers' Championship with 45 points. Ascendance and Smerlano are tied on 41, and Simply Air is 36. Red Bull leads the Constructors with 81 points, and Mercedes is sat on 49. So, for early season, pretty close.
It is. Let me have a look at this. Oh, yeah, all the names are all messed up. That ain't going to work. My apologies. Reset that.
Oh, is all your telemetry giving you a hard time?
Yeah, I loaded the wrong thing in. Oh, I've just completely screwed it. Doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't matter.
All right.
So, welcome to the 8 people. It looks like everything's a little glitchy as well. Hope that's not going to happen.
As we've already lost Hollers from the session, he's in the pit lane, but that might just be a lag issue, so he should be able to come back as we turn our attention to whoever's on a flying lap right now, and I do believe it's Seaback who is the first man who's going to set a time in his Alfa Romeo, unless one of the
racing point, I think, of Apollodorus. He's lighting up the timing boards at the moment.
Yeah, Apollo is going to be the first one across the line. Goes, well, a 1:10.1. So there is the benchmark for everyone to try and beat. Vetchins will be the second across the line, goes about a 2.3 slower, and then Gimp goes even slower. So maybe not quite hooking up their first laps too well just yet, as the Ferrari of Galapagos abandons his first lap. And Adesi goes fastest, 0.3 faster than Apollo by a 1:09.859. So it looks like we're going to be seeing times around, I'm going to give a bold prediction. I'm going to say Apollo's going to be a high 1:08. My bold prediction.
There's your predictions. Give us predictions on Twitch World. Simply Air looks like he was going to put a quick lap time in, but he is not. I'm not sure he's on keyboard again. We'll have to check that one.
Keep forgetting Simply Air has been on the keyboard the last few laps. It's quite interesting. Zandvoort, normally quite simple one-stop strategy from softs to hards, but I guess Ascendancy and top-tier noob, obviously Ascendancy, championship leader, starting off on mediums, maybe just getting a bit of practice in as they are invalidated on this lap so far, so maybe we can go for another lap. Just getting a feeler of the cars.
Killam is just setting his slotting into P9. Most of the other drivers are in the box at the moment or invalidated.
No, what I believe O'Killam is doing is, I think he's doing that thing at Zandvoort, because at Zandvoort, obviously you want to be on the lowest amount of fuel for your quali lap, and at Zandvoort they give you enough fuel to do 2 flying laps on the max fuel mix. So normally what drivers will do is they'll burn some fuel on a very slow out lap, and then they'll do another lap where they burn more fuel, and then they do a flying lap.
Interesting strategy.
So you'll normally see quite a high amount of flying laps done in Zandvoort, mostly because most of them aren't actually flying laps, they're just people trying to burn fuel.
Burning fuel.
Yeah.
Aren't we supposed to be taking care of the environment? Doesn't sound like something you'd want to be doing.
Oh, as I said, virtual fans, virtual world. I don't think they've breathed virtual air, so I think we're good.
Dick Tucker, welcome. Who is the guy to watch today? Good question, Dick. Who would be your...
I think we should be watching... I don't know. Santiago gave us a pretty good fight last time I commentated in China, so I'm looking forward to seeing him. Obviously, it's Ascendancy. He's the championship leader, so always someone to look out for there. Obviously, we're going to be taking quite a lot of looks at Ukilum and Apollodoros because we love saying their names. And I'll try to be a bit less biased towards the Haas boys this time, but I doubt that'll actually happen.
Anonymous said Galopoulos and Matcham. Is Matcham P15? And Galopoulos...
The Racing Point, yeah.
Is P13.
Well, I tell you what, a little story about the Racing Point is I had a little race last night, and I was actually in comms with one of the Racing Point drivers, and you know why I was in comms, Biggles, with them?
No?
Because the main Racing Point driver was playing League of Legends.
Oh my god. That's just like... I mean, he could play the other game. Why would he do that? Why would he do that?
I don't know. It was weird.
It's like sticking a dagger in your back, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I was quite confused. Because normally what I'll do is I'll get into comms with this Racing Point driver, and we will just talk about what we're about to do, our race and stuff, right? And we'll normally go into our own team comms. But my Haas teammate didn't really want much of me last race, unfortunately, and so I was forced to go into comms with the Racing Point driver, and then his teammate didn't show up, so we ended up having quite a nice race. But it's not about this race, it is about this qualifying session and slotting in after the first round of hot laps. Looks like around half the grid has set a time, and we're led by a Desi who did that 1 minute 9.8, but I have faith that we are going to get a lap in as Apollodoros is setting out on a flying lap, I believe, as they are in the hot lap mode. Yep, and they're going to be absolutely sending it through this high downforce twisty track. Biggles, tell me, why don't you like this circuit? I don't get it.
It's too beachy. Reminds me of Australia. I try to get away from the water. I spent 50 million years to get out of the water, and they kind of want to bring me back to it. So I'm a land creature.
It's a bit weird. But you have to remember, right? In Holland, they can just flood the whole country if they want to.
Well, they have big problems at the moment, I believe, because everything's sinking. All they have these wood structures and so forth underneath Amsterdam, as we can just see somebody going a little wide there.
Well,
yeah,
I'll tell you what isn't sinking. Apollodoros is not sinking down the line, as absolutely flying into the second sector, a 10th up on their previous best time through the second sector, and now through a sector that doesn't really flow too well, but is still decently fun enough to drive. We'll see if Apollo can get anywhere more close to that pole position of a 1 minute 9 sent by a Desi through the final big banks turn now. Out of VRS using absolutely all of it. Apollodoros, just misses out by 200ths of a second.
Yeah, he nailed it in that last sector. He set the fastest third sector, but didn't quite improve in the first two. He improved personally, but as you could just see how close it was. I also don't like this track because I'm on a keyboard. It's absolutely horrible. I'm sure Simply Ed doesn't like it as well. Whereas Simply, he's running P3. Maybe he's just proving me wrong right now on the keyboard.
The two Mercedes have actually just done laps. Gimp has gone P6 and Santiago has gone P14. So much for my prediction. As Ascendancy goes 6th place with a 1 minute 10.4. So driver's still getting used to the circuit as. Well, I say getting used to the circuit. There's only 8.5 minutes left. So if you want to do that double flying lap strategy, you got to start getting those laps in now.
You've heard it from Secret Jeff or Jeff Secret. What is the secret?
Ooh.
Is it the secret that you are actually Jeff in real life? That's interesting.
Secret's that I'm actually a golfer at heart. Biggles.
Yeah, you usually get hit by golf balls right now, aren't you?
Well, actually, no, because now, since I live in Canada, we're getting close to the winter months now when it's getting too cold. So, my boss has said there's no longer a need for me, so I'm now off to the winter and I can focus on racing.
Is that what you're saying? Snowballs being replaced by golf balls?
Yeah, more likely ice balls, if I'm being honest.
Well, but you're a very good golf. Oh, a Seaback is like cooking it all over the place, drifting it. I guess it's not Tokyo there, Mr. Seaback. This is Holland. Well, Netherlands, actually. Holland's just a part of a region of the Netherlands.
Quite far away from Tokyo.
And it's an interesting fact that I have for you. And when I actually lived in the Netherlands, the reason why the color of the flag was changed from... It was actually orange in the flag. It's red, white, and blue, like most flags around the world. Not yours. Yours is missing the blue. But
Also, sorry to cut you off, but Stizzy in the Haas has just had an absolutely horrible off getting into the bank's turn, and they have hit the wall, their wheel is off, and they have retired from the session.
that's unfortunate for Stizzy as well, because I think he's a stockbroker, so I think the market has crashed for him.
It was actually quite an unfortunate accident, if I'm being honest. He tried getting the car spun back around in the banking. He didn't spin the wheels, so the car never turned, and he just drove straight into a wall.
Well, that's one way to crash. I'm sure he's going to capitalize on the market at some point, in the market being these races. But yeah, the reason why the flag does not have orange in it is because the colors used to fade on the early day flags, because they didn't have the technology, obviously, for dyes. So when you put that orange in your flag out in the sun all day, hanging over all those buildings in the Netherlands, they tends to fade it, and it faded into a red. So they decided to keep the red. There's your trivia.
Yet they still kept the color on various t-shirts and other pieces of national merchandise all around the world, and it has created the Orange Army as we see so often in Austria, and hopefully one of these days at actual Zandvoort and the Formula One circuit. So people are going to start doing their final runs quite soon. Ferrari has gone off in Sector 2. It was Galapagos, I guess, just backing off to let through an Alfa Romeo. So getting close to the end of qualifying now. I think my prediction of the low 108 is kind of out the window, as Adesi is still holding strong with that 1 minute 9.859, still only just beating Apollodorus. And what is that, the whole field separated by just over 2 seconds.
Yeah, down from
so
P1 to P12 is 1 second.
Realistically, I think we could say if you're in the top 5, maybe the top 8 right now, you might be within a shout of pole if you hook up your lap right.
I think so. I believe somebody told me the other day that the track doesn't rubber in like it does in the real life, so we shall see.
Yeah, that's why you don't see those crazy things like I think it was in Spain. In 2018, people would do their final flying laps on mediums, or it was a soft tire at the time, because the super softs would wear so quickly.
So let's take a look at Cracky.
So
Cracky gets across the line
on mediums.
On mediums in P3. I was looking at his times, going, wow, like he's improving.
8/10 faster. Oh wow!
And let's look at P11. I think that's Holler's. He might improve on his time. Not quite sure. Let's go to P8. P8 is ascendancy. Can he improve? We shall see. P6.
We'll see. Should we just go on board for a lap with ascendancy, as normally quite fast?
Sure. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think we shall.
You're the boss.
So
you're a race driver.
First banked hairpin, a turn that's basically impossible to get right. Now through the swooping flat-out turns. Will you try to cut this corner as sharp as you can? Yes, he will. As soon as the little patch of dead grass happens, you put it down into... Oh, no, I think Ascendancy is actually on an in-lap. But we're going to stay on board anyway so I can explain the circuit. These turns normally incredibly fast, 6th or 7th gear, and it's a curved braking zone, so you better get that brake bias way towards the front. Otherwise, you're taking a one-way trip to the gravel, and you're not coming back out.
When have we go on board with P17 top 10 noob?
Adesi's gone faster.
Oh. Says he has gone faster.
A 109.6?
Where did he pull that out of the bag? I'm showing invalidations on mine. True.
No, Adesi just done it.
And top tier noob is looking to improve on his P17. Jumps up into P7, so he got rid of the 10 out of that number. 17 minus 10 equals where top tier noob is right now. P7.
That's quite good.
Biggles giggles. So Cracky at the moment.
Someone in Twitch chat right now, start clipping every single pun Biggles makes and make a compilation video on YouTube called Biggles Giggles.
Do not.
And after next race that we commentate, we will react to that video in live time.
Do not do that. You'll make me giggle. Don't do that. As Gimp is looking to improve. Oh, is he P13? He's got personal best. Greens. That's the Mercedes driver.
Up in the second sector.
Yeah.
So let's see, can the Mercedes driver grab a bit of that real life pace going through the final bank turn? It's a NASCAR race going on right now that I can't watch because I'm busy doing this. And now across the line, what will Gimp do? It's looking quite good. P9. Not too shabby.
P15. Also, Miko on tour. certainly on tour in the Netherlands right now. Can he get jumping the tour queue?
Here comes Ignite. All right, Ignite gonna be the first one of the drivers to do their final flying lap. So let's see the Haas driver going through turn 1, the long sweeper. Let's see if this my Haas teammate in blood can do something good with their final flying lap of the afternoon. Let's do these long sweeping turns now, trying to max out the rev range as much as they can, because they can do that actually on this year's game.
Which is the Haas driver you're talking about? Which one?
Ignite, the other Haas driver, DNF, remember?
Oh, okay. P19. There we go.
So Ignite actually 4/10 down in the first sector, so I don't think we'll actually improve this time. So they're just going to start trying to save ERS. Nope, still pushing. The DRS is going to be oh, it's gone very wide into the grass. It's going to be more time lost for the Haas driver. There's be enough fuel in the car. Will he have enough ERS? They're going to back off the ERS to try and go for a second flying lap or not?
He's got time. 1 minute remaining now in qualifying.
Yeah. See Ignite do this turn. Oh, very wide into the gravel again. Still not invalidated. It looks like cross the line. Will there be any ERS to do another lap? We won't be able to stay on board as there are other people doing the time. Goes 1.1 seconds slower and backs off. So that is P19 and 20 for the Haas boys in this qualifying session. But we know how league racing works on this game. Anything can happen.
Let's go back to the Williams driver running a P18 just ahead of Ignite that we're on. That's Vincis.
Vinchins.
He's setting personal best, 30.4, 18.6. That's kind of up there a little bit.
Doesn't abandon the lap. Looks good.
And
P13.
P13.
Good improvement.
Unlucky for some.
Oh, here comes
unlucky for
Chewy.
him.
Oh, Chewy's coming into the pits. They're done.
All right, Cracky's now putting on a cracking lap. He just does it to me every time, don't you, Cracky? That's not
Oh, here comes hold on. Ascendancy. Will Ascendancy make it over the line in time? Yes, just. So Ascendancy will be able to complete the final flying lap of the session. Now we see all the other drivers.
He has to get on with it because Cracky is putting it in the fastest first sector of the race. Personal best for the second sector.
2/10 up. It's looking good.
Yep.
Cracky Jr. across the line. It is pole position for Cracky Jr.
He cracked provisional pole at the moment. So Adesi, we know.
By a tenth and almost a half. The Red Bull driver is setting its wings. Adesi doesn't get out in time to do a final flying lap, unfortunately. And Ignite crosses the line, doesn't improve.
Simply as crossing the line under personal best as well. On the keyboard, you can see him, and he's twitching and no, he's invalidated his lap. That's game over for him. And P6.
Comes Simply Air across the line. Oh, invalidated, but 4/10 up.
Ascendancy set the fastest middle sector. Let's go on board with him. P6. What can he do? Can he bring a cracking job to Cracky? Running in like fastest middle sector by at least 1/10, so he's got some pace here. This could be
good so far.
pole. Can he do it?
109. Oh, just can't. 3/10 off for Ascendancy from Cracky Jr. And it looks like, barring any surprises, it could very well be Cracky Jr. on pole. But Top Tier Noob has gone wide. They were on a good lap, green in their first sector by a few tenths, but have lost it in the grass and abandons the lap. I think that's qualifying done, Biggles. I think that is the top 5.
Well, actually, let's have a look at Azizi, as he's going to cross the line, but he did not go improving. He didn't got it. Wow.
The McLaren driver claims it back.
109.5. He must have had it. He must have set a cracking third sector there for Azizi. He did. He got the first. He could have improved, certainly, because he did not set a personal best in the second sector. He lost at least 1/10 in the second sector. So he had some more pace. He must have made a mistake, but obviously hooking up Sector 1 and Sector 3 is all you need to do. And the man in the McLaren is on pole.
Oh, I said barring any surprises, and you know what? I'll consider Codemasters lagging, not telling me that Cracky Jr. and Adesi were on final flying laps as a surprise, as Adesi has snatched back pole position, and in the top 5 for the race will line up as Adesi, followed by Cracky Jr., Ascendancy starting on the second row with Apollodoros in 4th, the great showing from the Racing Point driver, and on the 3rd row will be Galapagos and Simply Air.
Yep, welcome Shonen and Quad into here, Anonymous, TikToker as well. Welcome, thank you very much Shonen for Shonen versus the World exhibition race that was on earlier. Shonen's had 3 victories, I believe, and the World had 4 victories. and that will be continued. Shonen had donated the money that he earned. It was $5 in every race victory that he won was donated to a charity of his cause. Still doesn't happen. And the other drivers in the world earned $5 for every race win that they had. But at the moment, Adizi is not worried about that. He's got it easy, starting in P1, Cracky in P2.
Biggles, may I ask you something?
No.
Is your for the session, is your time remaining stuck on 0.01 right now?
It is. Yep.
Oh no.
You think we have a problem?
I believe the session may be a little bit bugged.
Let's get a little screen capture of that so we make sure we know who everybody is.
Yeah, I'm taking a picture on my phone.
If you can, please. I'm going to try.
Oh, it's disappeared. We're good. Never mind.
Okay, good. Cool. I think somebody up in Codemasters heard you and fixed that problem.
Yeah, they heard my my rookie cries for help. So yeah, we have it. A Desi taking pole by 1/10 of a second on Cracky Jr. Now it's when we start talking about race strategy, Biggles, because Zandvoort is impossible to gain ERS on.
Really?
So I'm thinking, yes, it is. Unless it's raining, which I doubt it will be. It's highly unlikely that you will actually just lose ERS by running in standard without any overtake. So if you're going to overtake someone, if you use your overtake, you don't complete the move, you're not getting anything. You truly will just be a sitting duck until your pit stop. Now, if it rains, you can get as much ERS as you want because you're always heavy braking. But with the high downforce setups, it's impossible to actually conserve ERS. Is it raining? No, it's not raining.
It's overcast, but that's interesting.
Overcast conditions, yeah. So now that we're in the race, Biggles, who do you like for the race? Because my predictions were way off for qualifying by about I'm not gonna lie, about half a second. So who do you think is gonna win?
I can't. Who was the driver that qualified on the mediums? My telemetry is not loaded up there. Or did it?
Oh yes, on the mediums. That was. I'm trying to remember who was that. That was. It wasn't Cracky Jr., was it? Who did on mediums and then went on to the softs?
Oh, could have been. Could have been. It does ring a bell. My memory these days. It looks like air temperature is 20, track's 29, so it's a little cooler. But until everybody loads on the grid, Jeff doesn't give me that weather report. But we do have it now. And tires, well, it doesn't look like anybody's starting on the mediums that I see. Actually, apart from outside the top 10, which is Chewy will be the first one starting on the mediums, and his teammate as well, Seaback, and a few of the other drivers. So banking on a safety car, or at least trying to do the overcut, undercut. Who really knows? It's a cut at some point, right?
Yeah, there will be some form of cutting going on, whether it's cutting across someone at the beginning of the race, getting an undercut, or maybe Cracky Jr. is just going to be so upset that you keep making cracking jokes that he's going to try and come cut our stream. I just developed an inscrutable stutter, so I'm just going to stop talking. Predicted pitch stop strategy is a one-stop softs to hards or a two-stop soft medium, as always, on the game.
We can have the secret giggles. It's no longer the Biggles giggles, it's secret giggles.
I prefer Biggles giggles. Remember, everyone in Twitch chat, Biggles giggles, not secret giggles.
Well, it's no secret that you have given out all the drivers, all the race strategies as well, because it's no secret, and maybe it is a secret that Jeff is actually... Sorry, secret is Jeff as well, a.k.a. Secret, a.k.a. Jeff. He does both roles. We don't know. We don't really see Jeff much, do we? We don't really know what he looks like. We've only heard from him.
Yeah, because obviously, we're in the league racing world, so you don't have many people doing my team that often. So I don't really get a lot of actual Jeff in person without a bunch of radio static. Anyway, the AI takes over the driver's cars now as we're going to start lining up on the front grid and the rest of the grid for the incredibly close Dutch Grand Prix that I'm sure we're about to have, because this league always produces fantastic racing.
Predicted pit stop strategy is go to the hards, one stop into the end, or do the mediums and then the softs or the mediums and mediums. We'll see.
I go on hards because track position is so important here. It's so hard to overtake.
All right, sir. You have the honors of
I
pushing
do,
that
hopefully.
button and releasing those 5 lights.
Cody's, please don't give us any lighting glitches. 5 red lights are on. It's actually 10 with the doubles. We're having incredible lighting glitches as I just prayed not to have. No one's moving on my screen. And they're finally away. I don't know if I'm synced up with you, Biggles, but on my screen we're off now, and it's been a great start from Adesi as it looks like Ascendancy is going around the outside of Cracky Jr. at turn 1. It looks like we've got yellow flags. There's a bit of front wing. It looks like a Williams is losing a bit of wing in the background. Oh, it's one of the Ferraris, Bud, and there's a virtual safety car, so we can see what's been going on in the back. It looked like the Ferrari, it looked like lost a bit of front wing damage for those severe collisions. It looked like one of the Alfa Romeos of Neves had a bit of a collision. Hollers has received a penalty as well.
Looks like Batham's gained 1 position, top tier new, but ignore that at the moment. Neves has left the session. Maybe there's some sort of glitch there with him, or he's just had enough of that, as these cars look like they're starting to resume their pace again. But yeah, we will expect this little bit of Codemasters telemetry glitching to occur, usually in the first couple of laps, and then it starts to sort itself out.
The big loser so far has been Santiago. And the Mercedes dropping from where did Santiago start? Started in 18th. It was dropped to 20th, but that Mercedes we know has enough pace to do a lot more than that, if I'm being honest.
Green
as
light.
we are green flag once again. And one of the Red Bulls gets way out of space. Cracky Jr. Cracky Jr. goes way up the track, and Ascendancy is now ahead of him, so without you having to use any overtake, but Cracky Jr. is going to fight back going into turn 1. Do you want the inside or the outside? Braking at the 50-meter board. They're getting way close outside of the turn 1. I can't speak anymore with people making pit stops to change their front wings. And down the inside goes Ascendancy, makes a move, but as Cracky Jr. holding around the outside, Ascendancy gets a bad exit, and it looks like Adesi has actually broken the DRS.
Yeah, there's no DRS enabled yet, but he's got right in there. Look at that crazy battle that's occurring there. Somehow Cracky still made it work and get up into P2 after running really, really wide there. Galapagos is up into P6.
Santiago has unfortunately retired from the session now, so that's what the yellow flags in Sector 1 are for. A shame to see a driver with so much pace disappear without showing anything. You never want to see it. You have a Desi trying to pull a bit of a gap to Cracky Jr. at the front now. Fast second sector of the race. The first on pace second sector of the race is the McLaren driver. And let's see how everyone's been conserving their ERS. Adesi still has decent ERS. Cracky Jr.'s used up a bit on 50%. Ascendant's on 60. So it looks like most drivers are hovering around 60, but Apollodorus and Ukilim both on 80%. So they're really conserving for when they can have it.
DRS is now enabled, and it looks like DRS is going to work
the
right
other
to the
Mercedes,
border.
I think. No, not the other Mercedes. What was that? Oh, it's the Haas. It's Stizzy again, spun out at that final corner. Doesn't lose a wheel trying to get the car turned around with wing damage. Drops down, but it looks like because of all those other drivers will not drop further down the grid until the actual pit stop and when everyone passes them in the pit lane. So that
Stizzy again
promotes the Bud into 10th.
putting all his shares into the wrong race car at the moment, so that's going to cost him, and he's going to box. But perhaps that strategy might work out at the moment. We've only had one virtual safety car, no real safety car, and only one retirement from the race, as we're on board with Apollo. He's tucked up there behind Simply Air on the keyboard. Galapagos in P3 and Ascendancy in, Galapagos P4, Ascendancy in P3. A little bit of a chain forming there now behind Ascendancy.
Say this though, Cracky Jr. is very clearly desperate to get in that DRS zone, using up a bunch of ERS now on 25% using overtake, while Adesi is still on 50. So it's looking like, oh, and Santiago has now left the session, unfortunately. So it looks like
Cracky going to make
Jr.
a pass.
Oh, where?
No, he doesn't. He does tap the back of Apollo.
Oh, no! No!
That means Apollo's
So
going to
kill him, and the Alfa Romeo gets by. His top tier noob is now going to try and put a move on Ukilim. Nope, not quite. That hairpin is so deceptive because since it's banked, people go in with so much speed, so you always think a move is on.
I wonder if there's any damage to the Racing Point driver. No, there isn't, so he can continue on with it, but dropping 4 places from the start of this race. Everybody else gaining pretty much up ahead, apart from the top 3. They're starting in the actual positions that they qualified in. Obviously, the other big gainer is Ignite, up into P13. Miko on tour is definitely touring this track at the moment, up 4 positions. 7 for the Buddha, up into P10. That's the Ferrari.
Yeah. You know what we said? Will the Buddha actually manage to unleash that that godlike pace? And it looks like this time on those medium tires, doing quite well for himself. Up into the points-paying positions in that Ferrari, which has not struggled, but not had the most optimal of seasons yet in LNR division development tier. I really cannot speak today, Biggles. You're gonna have to help me a lot with this.
Betty, butter, butter. There, you gotta practice those ones if you wanna.
Yes.
Get your tongue twisters out.
Right, so closest battle on track right now does look like the Ferrari of Galapagos behind championship leader Ascent, as Adesi and Cracky Jr. kind of disappearing a bit at the front, as Adesi has a 1.4 second gap over Cracky Jr. Don't also forget, though, top tier noob is going to be trying to put the move on Ukilum eventually.
So when did these tires start falling off the cliff around here in the softs?
I don't know. I don't race around Zandvoort that much, but if I had to guess, I'd say on the softs they'll start going off around, really going off around lap 12. I'd say really going off though.
Really, like
that's my prediction for someone who's never driven this track.
Like beaching it, going off.
You feel like you're gonna beach it, but not quite.
Feel like you're gonna beach it. Well, none of these drivers have beached it at the moment, apart from Santiago. I'm not quite sure what happened to him. DRS really doesn't have much play here, does it?
No, it doesn't. Galapagos is still behind Ascendant, so it looked like
gets past.
Oh,
kill him.
Into turn 1.
Does he?
Yep, top tier noob. Oh wait, they're so close. They almost banged wheels coming out of the turns. Top tier noob has gone up into 6th place. Now we're to see, can the top tier noob prove that he's not actually a noob, but actually a really good driver, and make it closer to those top 5, but with limited ERS. How much will he be able to push? Only on 20%, and simply are in front.
Oh, I'll kill him. What's happened?
Oh, kill him! No! Wait, what?
Killam's just dropped back. According to my telemetry, just dropped back to P8.
Yeah, Killam's dropped back on my screen too.
Did he lift or something? Something happened there. Maybe he got a illegal pass, one of those Codemaster glitches. Who knows? There
was yellow flags, so I think he went off the track quickly, but I don't know. It was kind of a bizarre incident as Stizzy is going incredibly slowly, and I think, with more wing damage, they're going to park it up and retire from the Grand Prix.
Let's go on board for our Ferrari driver of Galapagos. Behind, as you mentioned there, Ascendancy, the championship leader, I believe, at the moment. So up this banking hill, he's going to have the beep in his ear, I believe.
Has a lot more overtake than Ascendancy, but not using it. As down the inside goes the Ferrari, tries out braking, is going to have the superior line going through turn 1. Can he get the power down? Not quite. And they're almost side by side. Is there a move on going into the hairpin? No, there isn't. You got to get a really good run going through that little approach turn and that little 5th gear flick right before the hairpin. As there's been more yellow flags. So the other Ferrari, the Buddha. The Buddha has spun coming out of turn 1, something that's so easy to do, unfortunately. Is there any wing damage on that Ferrari? Nope, just looks like cooked tires. And that puts Chewy QC in the Williams, someone I haven't mentioned yet, but I'm very happy to see running close to the points in 11th.
Yep, so one Ferrari's not having a great day, probably the Sebastian Vettel Ferrari, but let's go on board with the Charles Leclerc of Galapagos Ferrari, as he's trying to bring it to the AlphaTauri driver.
It's a shame what's happening to Vettel. It's a shame.
Yep,
you wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say that 6 years ago, but you'll say that now.
Shonen's a huge Vettel fan, but you know what? Multi-21 Shonen, multi-21 because I'm Australian.
Shonen's going to be yelling very, very angry things at you in the Twitch chat. But Galapagos, once again with the DRS, as the tendency is using more and more of the ERS, and Galapagos is conserving more and more. So it looks like Galapagos is actually finding a way to conserve ERS around Zandvoort, surprisingly, and Stensi just can't manage to do it. And so there's a 30% ERS difference between the two. And that'll be important when Galapagos actually goes to pass.
It will, as well as also Achillem wants to try to get past Apollo. They're battling out there.
Looks like they're ghosting in between each other.
Oh, they are. We're going to go on board with Galapagos. Yep. So I've got a little shout out there on Twitch there. Thank you. It's Santiago there. That's our only retirement at the moment. You can see that P20. That's the Mercedes driver. He said he did not load a setup and so he was understeering and in and out most corners. My fault. He didn't want to screw others during the race with his mistake, and he'll be back next week. Very modest of you,
I told you Santiago had pace, and it's a shame we couldn't see more of it.
I'm glad to hear from you. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy the rest of the race.
In terms of on-track action, there's not much. There's the Bud who's catching up to the Williams of QC, and will be attempting to put a move on. There's a bit of a top-tier noob train going on, so at least there's going to be some semblance of battles happening.
Oh, Galapagos got past.
Oh, he did! They're side by side!
He hasn't yet.
He's got the move. Can he make it around the outside of this little flick? Yes, he can! What a move!
What a
the
move.
Ferrari onto the podium, getting past the championship leader. What a move! As Ascendance had really bad traction, so maybe Ascendance has already been struggling with traction quite a bit, and is just struggling even more now as Chewy QC has just dropped a few positions on my screen, down to 12th.
And the Buddha as
falling
well.
Behind the Bud.
Are we seeing a double Ferrari maneuver? Because it looks like the Buddha's got past Chewy.
Yeah.
So
Mattia Binotto is absolutely loving life right now.
So there you go. Pay attention, Sebastian Vettel. That is how you overtake in a Ferrari. Boom, boom. There you go, Shona.
I don't know what's going on with the two Haas cars, though, as they're both seeming to go incredibly slowly. I know Stizzy has gotten off. It looks like they're just trying to let the lap cars by, but I don't know what's up with the Haas cars. Maybe they have, I don't know, some kind of mechanical issue in the game somehow? I don't know. I know. How many pit stops have they taken? Can you see that? How many pit stops have they taken?
One of the Haas drivers, Ignite, P13, 0.
Okay, Ascendance has come into the pit lane. So, strategy time. He's going on hards? No, he's going mediums. Ascendance onto mediums.
Oh, every time
Are they trying to stretch that to the end of the race? Or are they anticipating a safety car?
Tall order.
As Williams has gone very wide. It's not Chewy QC, it's Vetchins. Williams went very wide in Sector 2. Now into Sector 3 with gravel all over the tires. We'll be just trying to, I'd not say limp it back to the pit lane, but maybe want to get off of some slightly cooked tires.
Cooking, yeah. Shona knows all about cooking tires. He's a chef. He was just mentioning to me, hey guys, how far can these hards go to the end, or the mediums at least?
Don't cook tires. It's very bad for the environment.
As Ignite are battling it out there too with Matcham, P14, P13. They're yet to make their pit stop. Actually, believe it or not, Matcham has made his pit stop. I need to change the telemetry up here so you guys can see the tires. I have my telemetry, but I keep forgetting you do not have what I see. Ascendancy.
I know it.
Getting past.
Makes a move. Getting past the Vampire Witch.
Fresh tires, and Galapagos is now boxing and also being folded into the box by Top Tier Noob. So this is the cliff.
Galapagos goes on to hards. Top Tier Noob goes on to hards. So it looks like Ascendancy is going to be the only one trying to stretch those mediums, but he is ahead. So Ascendancy is still gaining time on the mediums. So it looks like we'll have to change our question to a Desi, who is pulling a bit of a gap now on Cracky Jr. 2.4 seconds on those soft tires. Although I did say now is around the time that the softs will start going off.
You said 12 laps, sir. You can't change it from 10 to 12.
I said 12. It's 11 right now. What do you mean?
It's 10.
As Stizzy has spun out again and once again has wing damage.
Okay, so let's have a look.
It's gone from bad to worse.
Galapagos right now in the Ferrari is the first man on those fresh, having taken that mandatory pit stop. He's on 0 laps on those hard tires. Ascendancy behind him, 2.1, 2.0 seconds. Obviously gaining a lot of pace because he's on the mediums. Now, they are currently running 20 seconds, 22 seconds from the leaders. Pit stop around here will cost you, my telemetry showing anything between 14 and 20 seconds. So it's going to be really interesting as O'Killam boxes.
O'Killam boxes. So we're going to see where's O'Killam going to come out. And I can see they're going on hard tires. So, but serving a 5-second time penalty in the pit lane. So that's going to absolutely destroy the strategy. So getting into those hards and getting held up in the pits, and finally away goes O'Killam into 10th place.
This is hammer time for Ascendancy, setting the last fastest lap, a 1:13.1. The leader, Adizi, a 1:13.7. Cracky, a 1:14.3. And then behind him, where is it? Galapagos. So that was Galapagos.
But look, Adizi's tires are going off. The gap is now down to 1.7 seconds at the front. So I told you those tires are starting to struggle.
It's going to
It
cost
looks
them
like Adesi will have to come to the pit soon.
pit stop at the moment too as well. If the pit stop's around 20 seconds, this is looking good for the guys that boxed early. That's Galapagos and Ascendancy. Probably more so for Ascendancy, but if he can make
into
those.
the pits comes the McLaren. So here we go. Showtime for the pit crew. Getting it nice and slowed down for the pit lane, and having to lock up those tires and going into hard tires. So where will Adesi come out?
Adesi's now coming around the final couple of corners. So Galapagos, he's ahead. He's the first one that's boxed.
What's going on here? No! Biggles, did you see that?
I did not see that.
The retired car of Stizzy was stopped in the pit lane, and now Galapagos is into the lead of the race. Adesi still gets out ahead of Ascendancy, does he? Side by side, going into the hairpin. No! Adesi's just lost out massively because of a game glitch. Stizzy's retired car was stopped in the pit lane, lost about 5 seconds, just sat still, and now Adesi is down to a net P3.
Ouch. I'm sorry, I missed some of that.
And now Galapagos is into the lead of the race in that Ferrari. Look at that for the Ferrari boys.
And Adesi's already on those fresh hards, believe it or not. He's putting big pressure on the back of Ascendancy, who's got fresh mediums. Only 2 laps on those mediums as well, aka 3 laps.
Let's compare their ERS. Let's compare the ERS. Ascendancy using a bit of ERS on 36%. Adesi's on 68.
This is a make or break right now, as we're not even halfway through the race.
I think Cracky Jr. is anticipating a safety car because they're still staying out on those softs, and so is Simply Air. So the Red Bull 1-2 running around, which is a trend that happens when me and Biggles commentate, apparently, having a Red Bull 1-2 in some form.
But they're running around 1 second a lap slower than these guys.
Yeah.
And so they've cost them a lot. They're going to definitely be behind.
Oh, Adesi's lighting up the overtake mode. Down into turn 1, around the outside, breaking at the 50-meter board. Wheel to wheel through turn 1. Crofty would love that sentence. And now side by side, through the flick. Can he hold it around the outside? Yes, he can! Adesi, hold it!
Not yet.
He can hold it as well.
It's medium versus hard.
Side by side.
It's medium versus hard.
And Ascendancy will just hold on to the position. Oh, great battling through the first sector of the track. And it looks like Adesi's going to have to try next lap. And this is what I mean about not completing the move. Adesi's just lost 20% of ERS.
Now he's going to have to slot in. But remember as well, he's got those harder tires, so they should be a lot better towards the end of the race. And this is probably hurting Ascendancy as well. That's ahead, because he's doing, even though he's on those medium tires, you've got to try to make them run towards the end.
Cracky Jr. is boxing. Cracky Jr. used all of their overtake and is now boxing. Yeah. Getting it slowed down for the pit lane? Yes, just. That was very good. Simply Air will have to go out. Oh no, Simply Air's boxing too, so... Oh, that's going to be an unpleasant surprise when he gets into the Red Bull garage, as the tires aren't going to be ready for him.
I'm going to be interesting if they can get ahead of Miko on tour.
The Red Bulls have stretched it. The Red Bulls are going to be going on to mediums. Oh, here comes Cracky Jr. around the outside. Is Galapagos in the lead of the race? Yes, he is. So Cracky Jr. on mediums that can probably go to the end. This race is so intense, it's making my throat dry. So the top 3, Galapagos and the Ferrari, followed by the 2 Honda powered, not for too much longer, Red Bull and AlphaTauri.
Exactly, 1, 2, 3 quad. Why did he box? He had time. There's lots of Twitch stuff. Sorry I can't read all the stuff that's going on Twitch right now. It's too much on the screen. As Gimp gets past Chewy with fresh hards, as expected. But we'll go on board with this battle with Cracky, because now he knows he has to get on with it to get past Galapagos. He's got the fresher tires and the pace.
Chewy QC has crashed.
Virtual safety car.
Chewy QC crashed. Virtual safety car because Chewy QC crashed out of the hairpin and has lost their front wing. So the Williams team, which is already strapped for budget, is now going to have to spend more money getting another front wing on to Chewy QC's car, unfortunately. Well, he was running well in 13th.
Didn't they give that front wing to Claire Williams as a going-away gift? Perhaps they have to call up Claire and get her to bring that front wing back. So give it
if that's the
Chewy.
case, I'll tell you what, Chewy QC's been running an incredible race if he did all that without a front wing. Yeah. All right, so now we're going to see. Look to the front. Galapagos, as we go green, so it looks like Cracky Jr. has caught up an absolute treat on Galapagos. But here's the thing, you need good defense. And what's good at defense? Turtles. And what type of turtle is there? Galapagos turtles. You're right, Galapagos is winning this race.
Oh, you've heard it there. That's the secret puns. Secret giggles.
Will Cracky Jr. try to crack the shell? You don't know, and then will Ascendants ascend upon the podium. You
Oh,
never know
no.
what's going to happen in LNR.
You have to stop. It's too much. We're going to have to clip this, guys. Highlight that clip later. That is well worth a shout out. Simply air.
Right, so Ignite receives a 3-second time penalty. No time penalties at the front, by the way, that I've realized. Looks like Galapagos, Cracky Jr., and Sensi are all clean as of right now.
I believe so. Yep, correct. Top 6 are all in the zeros.
There you go. And that's what you like to see. So, lap 16 of 36. There's going to be 20 laps to go. This time they cross the line.
The sheriff is
I'm trying to think.
He said, my God, big claps to the puns. Yeah, certainly. As the Buddha.
Oh, the sheriff is in town. Oh, the sheriff. Oh, he
sheriff's
must have a history with our puns. Oh, down the inside goes Cracky Jr. Gives it a look going into turn 1. Not a fully committed move, but a move nonetheless. Just letting Galapagos know he's there, not letting him hide in his shell too much.
Oh, jeez. I'm going to have fun watching the replays of this.
Well, you're not going to. I almost swore on stream
You should
earlier.
stop cracking all those fun puns, shall we say, while we're riding on board with Cracky.
Yes, exactly. I love this job. So, lap 17 of 36. The battle at the front is as close as it's ever been. The battle for third is decently close, still within DRS range. 4 or 5 different teams, all in the top 5. Look at that. All around the outside goes Cracky Jr. into the hairpin. Cracky Jr. is looking for some moves in very unorthodox places, probably because look at his ERS, 15% to Galapagos' 30. Cracky Jr. is using all of the ERS to try and get a move, and now running all of it out before the hairpin as we have yellow flags. So Williams!
Oh! Thank God for ghosting, right? Wow, that was scary.
I had a heart attack for the
Here it
drivers,
is.
but not as much. Look at that!
No.
The switchback move! Cracky Jr. sent it, desperately trying to get ahead on that low ERS. Ferrari versus Red Bull never felt so good. Through the hairpin, we're at the halfway mark of this Grand Prix. We've just had a heart attack watching a Williams parked in the middle of the track. That could have been very bad if this was real life. But it's not. It's a video game. We have virtual fans who don't need the social distance because
Do you think
that boy has not ruined their worlds.
I don't think at the moment Cracky cannot crack the shell of Galapagos, can he? Because he's trying as desperate as he can and been putting in some great entertaining racing and clean as well, because this is super fun. He's not giving up yet, but he wants to take another crack at this.
Yep, opening the DRS, not using overtake this time, maybe trying to save it for the main straight, as that is a better overtaking opportunity. Oh, I'll tell you what, top 4 separated by only 2 seconds is quite fun to have, mostly because with them battling, Ascendancy is now actually catching up to the top 2, only 1.1 seconds, so next lap might be in the DRS range. But now we turn our attention to Cracky Jr., 6/10 behind, will he? Oh, no, Ascendancy coming, nope, not coming to the pit, just taking a different line.
He wants you to take it easy, as we're going to go on board with at easy, running with the McLaren driver as well, trying to catch Ascendancy. So he's also in the battle of Ascendancy as Cracky is with Galapagos. So good 4-way battle up the front here, and they're all equal pace as well. So, and then you have a little bit further back down there, you have Apollo running 9 seconds off that. But these top 4, nothing between them, but they all are separated by a white or a yellow stripe on those tires.
Great. Isn't it great when the closest battle on track is for the win?
So,
And none of them has penalties too, so we can just enjoy what's happening and not, stress over who has what penalties or who needs to do what. It's just who's ahead on track, who can do it. But we're talking right now is Cracky Jr. is actually pulled in by a couple tenths, and so is Adizi. So we can't watch both battles, but both battles are getting quite heated as they're saving ERS. What is the ERS situation? Galapagos, 30. Cracky, 35. Ascendancy, 25. Adizi, 60. So Adesi is the one that has the ERS to play with. So, onto this main straight, will Adizi try to get by Ascendancy? Will Cracky Jr. pull anything? Looks like too far back. Is everyone too far back? Sensi is conserving ERS. Adizi's not deploying it either. So they're still waiting for the laps to just keep on ticking by. 17 to go here in Zandvoort.
So it looks like Golo TV, shout out to you. Thank you very much, Doritos. All these, everybody else following on Twitch. My apologies for have not been able to look at the screen. Can Cracky and Ascendancy make those mediums go to the end? That is the tall order question.
I think Cracky can make his mediums go to the end. I think Ascendancy, even though they're only 5 laps older, I think he'll struggle. I think he'll struggle towards the end.
Well, there you have it. So it could just be an easy job for Adizi because he's on 6 laps there, but he's getting very, very close now to Ascendancy.
Yeah, because the softs only lasted 12 laps. So we'll say those mediums go 8 laps long. We'll say they go 20. That's 32. So that's 4 laps of cooked tires at the end. I don't know.
You certainly paid attention in your math class. Well done.
Yeah. Totally didn't carry my class average in grade 11.
Yep. Boys and girls out there, learn your mathematics. It's very, very important.
Yes, and it helps you with stressful times like this when you're counting tenths of a second between multiple cars on track here at the Dutch Grand Prix. Oh, I love saying that sentence as, well, we never got to say it in real life, and it was quite upsetting.
Yep. Well, what's going to be upsetting soon is if Ascendancy makes a mistake and lets Adizi get slot by Adizi, but hasn't got an easy job at the moment because he's also on those hard tires.
You know what I want to point out, though, Biggles? Look at that gap in the front. 1.5 seconds. Lap traffic causing a bit of issues at the front runners. And now Galapagos has broken the DRS. So, now, can come a bit out of his shell. Doesn't need to defend. Now,
and those back markers are in play with Adizi and Ascendancy because it looks like Adizi is going to be very close.
They touched! Adizi makes it! Round the outside! Many different lines for this turn, so you can do anything. Oh, Ascendancy gets squeezed and Adizi and the McLaren up into P3! Look at that move!
He makes it all Adizi, shall we say. He's been working on that, so Ascendancy will be aware of that, and Ascendancy also has to try to make
Well, I'll tell you what, Biggles, I'll tell you what, Adizi. But you know what sounds like Adizi? Adidas. And you know what has 3 stripes? Adidas. You know where Adizi is? P3. It was meant to be. And that move was meant to be. As now Adizi's going to try and hunt down Cracky Jr. for P2 and maybe eventually P1 in this, honestly, race that it's a lot more exciting than I thought it would be. But we always get treated to a good show here in LNR, don't we?
We certainly do. And, yep, as Matcham as well is going to be thinking about doing the same sort of thing. But he's got fresh tires on. He's running in 12th, sorry. That's the racing point. He's got the other Mercedes driver of Gimp there ahead. The only Mercedes driver that actually is running in...
something... What's happened? Something terrible has just happened on my screen. I think I just saw... Yeah, on my screen, yeah, Gimp going very slowly with wing damage.
Does he have the wing damage?
Ascendancy! Ascendancy gets a time penalty for corner cutting!
Oh, that's going to hurt the Ascendancy. And it looks like that Matcham has made that job done on those fresh mediums. Good job for him up to P11. So, yeah,
right, so
further
update
upgrade. Top tier noob. Top tier noob is about to be proving that once again he's not a noob and putting it to Simply Air that at the moment. Top tier noob getting some serious
It's raining,
pace.
Biggles. It's raining.
It's raining?
It's raining. I saw rain.
I didn't bring my umbrella.
Neither did I, because I didn't anticipate this, but I did see rain.
Oh, wow, this could really pick
I
this up.
promise
23 or 36.
I promise you, this isn't me giving you false hope. In Sector 2, I was on board with Top Tier Noob and Simply Air. I saw raindrops.
Oh, you might be spicing things up too much. Did you get a good amount of sleep last night? Top Tier Noob's going to try and make a run up Simply Air. Sorry, cut you off.
I didn't get too much sleep, Biggles, and I golfed this morning, so I didn't get to sleep in much either. But I swear, I saw raindrops, and look at that. Cracky Jr. is now back into the DRS range of Galapagos, and Adizi is only 1.6 seconds behind too. We're going to have a battle between Ferrari, Red Bull, and McLaren. We're partying like it's 2010 here in Zandvoort.
Well, it's certainly not 2020 because that's not the best year we're going to have. But
I mean, to be fair, Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, that actually could be 2020.
I think you've been backed up. Quad is backing you up on that. He said he saw some raindrops as well. So you're not just you're not just seeing things in your own mind.
Yeah, I think I just saw more raindrops. So I'm gonna personally move on to an odd board camera, TV pod. Can I see any raindrops? I'm not really seeing any, but I swear I saw them.
Well, your mind could be playing tricks on you,
fascinating.
Sir. Top tier noob at the moment.
I think Cody's tried to get me excited, and now they've made me upset.
I think you've been playing too much golf. Maybe, I don't know. Let's go further back there. This looks like Ignite. That's your fellow Haas driver friend. Is igniting a chain right now as Veses and Hollers are tucked up behind him. But they're squabbling out of the points right now. So we're going to probably go back to that battle. But Cracky, oh, what's happened?
Oh, Top Tier Noob by Simple Air. Top Tier Noob just went around the outside of turn 1. And on those newer medium tires, Top Tier Noob into 7th place. Or no, Simply Air into 6th place. My bad. Oh, wait, no. No, they haven't changed. Simply Air held it.
He did
I don't know
hold
what I'm
it.
watching.
And that's a
There's so much
keyboard
battle
driver.
happening.
Look at that. He's certainly turning that keyboard like it's digital. 00110011. That's how he's steering the corners.
As Vetchins has also just gotten by Ignite for 13th place, and Hollers gets by the Haas as well, who got
And
a
look
bad
at Cracky.
exit.
Go on board with
Ignite's
our leader. Cracky now on those tyres. He's got to try to bring it to the race leader and crack the shell of our...
They both saved DRS. Galapagos is on 25. Cracky's on 52. So
Oh, look at the run.
here we go.
Elliot's got it.
In the
This
DRS.
looked all too easy. Was that a lift?
What just happened? I've just seen lag.
The Ferrari
I've just
driver.
seen
There must
Cracky-
have been lag, exactly, because Galapagos just basically, to me, looked like he just lifted.
I think Galapagos has had a screen freeze, and they've lost a bunch of time.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know that happens to me.
Yeah, it was all too easy, and I'm sure he wouldn't give that away that much, especially after leading the race for so long. That's obviously very sad for the Ferrari driver if that is the case. Most likely it is.
Also, look at that. Ascendancy is got a bit loosey goosey going through this first turn. So there's a lot of lag going on right now. You see, Galapagos and Nadizi are starting to catch up on each other. The telemetry is starting to glitch a little bit. So as I see it, Cracky Jr., Galapagos, and Nadizi all fighting for the win, all separated by about a second.
Yeah, lots of crazy stuff is going on at the moment there. Miko on tour with 8 laps is not that too close there. I can still see Galapagos showing in P2. Top tier noob about half a second away from Simply Air. Who's on, and Miko on tour, but who's on fresh tyres? That's Buddha. We'll keep an eye on his laps. He's already switched to the softs and has the freshest, shall we say, tyres on rails at the moment, as Holler's not actually, but Vassines has boxed. So let's go to Galapagos as well. He's not going to give that away easily as they're getting into the lapped ghost car traffic. It does throw you off a little bit, obviously, as a driver, even though you can just drive straight through them. But I'm sure these race car drivers aren't really used to driving through cars too often. Ascendancy's boxed.
Ascendancy's boxed. I told you those mediums wouldn't go to the end, and it looks like it is now showed, but I'm still not seeing rain. So it looks like little Cody's graphical glitch has
Well, you mean it was in
led
your
me
mind?
to believe. No, I definitely saw it. I definitely saw it. You're out of your mind, Biggles.
Hey, I'll tell you what, you can highlight that later and we can check that out on the video. As Adizi
Right.
and Cracky's now forming this chain behind them. This is the top 3. They're nothing. They're almost separated between 1.5 seconds.
They're
And they
separated by 8
Back
tenths, Biggles.
markers
They're
there.
separated by
Look at the
8
back
tenths.
markers throwing in their
Oh,
holes.
look at that. Oh, wait, that's a McLaren.
Yeah, that's a back marker. And then all the way back there, you have Apollo running 12 seconds behind this when he's going to be under big pressure from
Adizi
Ascendancy.
gets a time penalty. Extends on that last corner. Now it's really just a fight between Galapagos and Cracky Jr.
And we have 10 laps to go. Come on, guys, give us a break.
Adizi gets by Galapagos. Adizi got by Galapagos, the Ferrari man. Falling back. That's Cracky Jr., who has once again retaken the lead of the race. So was it Cracky Jr. that got held up that much by the pit stop? Was it, or was that Galapagos? No, it was. Or was it? Who was it that got held up by the pit stop? Eagles?
Let us know on Twitch. Yeah, I'm confused as well. So much action. Top 10 noob getting past Simply Air as
Tell
well.
us in Twitch, someone, because I forget. Who was it that got held up by that? Who was it that got held up by the glitched Haas in the pit lane?
Yeah, the glitch Sizzy, right? In the pit lane. That's exactly right. That's interesting. We can throw back to that when we get a second to breathe with all this exciting racing. Simply Air is getting even closer to top 10 noob. You can see those mediums are working a little bit better for him, but is he going to chew too much out of them? That's the keyboard
We've
driver.
already seen Ascendancy pitted because he wasn't liking how those mediums were feeling. So Cracky Jr. on tires that are only about 4 laps younger, so they're going to start going off right towards the end of this race. As Cracky Jr. gets it, Galapagos is in the net lead of the race.
You make
So
me.
Galapagos falling back. Oh, Galapagos pits though. Galapagos is
boxes.
pit.
He's had enough of those tires. His last lap was on 13.5, but wasn't too bad.
Had enough on the hards.
He's gone the mediums.
Oh, if only he knew. If only he knew the 2 in front of him had time penalties.
I
He
don't
wouldn't
know.
have pitted.
Yes, but his times were good, so I'm not quite
His
sure.
times were good. And now it's Apollodorus onto the podium spot. 13 seconds behind. And you know what? If the top 2 pit and Apollodorus decides to hold it out, Apollodorus will be in the lead of this race.
Exactly.
Also,
Well,
Ascendancy has passed Galapagos.
He's got to
on
make
the
it work.
penalty.
Ascendancy now has to pick up the pace. He has no time penalties. And he's currently 17 seconds away from the leader. Sorry, my bad. As soon as he does have 3 seconds of penalties. Apocalypse, whatever he is called. Sorry, my apologies.
Apollodorus.
No, he has 0 penalties, but he's also got those hard, long 15-lap tyres. And has to make them. We're in 28 of 36. A lot of racing to go.
Yeah. So let's watch the top 2. Will the top 2 pit for new soft tires? Because if they do, Apollodorus is in the lead.
Well,
down the main straight. Oh, bit of a wiggle, but nope, nothing. So it looks like it's just a straight scrap, as they're both on the same amount of penalties between Cracky Jr. and Adizi.
So let's look at it. I think Shonen called it as well too. It's about, I believe, 14 seconds, 15 seconds, a pit stop around here. Very, very short pit stop. And we know the teams are very good at not making any mistakes in the artificial world. So they can essentially, at the moment, the leader could, Cracky, could box and potentially come out in P3.
It could.
So that'll be a gamble. I'm sure he's trying to ask Jeff because he's on 14 laps on those mediums. So at some point, he's doing pretty good lap times. 12.
I don't think, unless Ascendancy planned on doing a 2-stop, I don't think Cracky Jr. can make those mediums last another 7 laps.
So that's going to be the strategy call.
20 laps on me.
He's definitely on the radio to Jeff debating about what he's going to do. Is he going to be a Lewis Hamilton, just say, you know what, guys, I'm going to call the shots here. I'm the one.
Because the DZ definitely can make it to the end. Can Cracky Jr. make it to the end? Cracky Jr. once again stays out for another lap.
And the
7
pace.
laps to go. 5/10 in it. No ERS. Cracky Jr. is out of ERS, and Adizi has 70% as who's spun out? It's one of the Ferraris. It's the Bud again has spun out. Going through I believe that's that really fast 6th gear sweeping turn towards the end of just at the beginning of sector 2.
So Galapagos and Ascendancy's hit the wall. What has Ascendancy done? Oh no, that's the championship leader making a crucial
error. He went
error.
for a move and he blew it.
On fresh tires too. I saw what happened. It was a move there on Galapagos that was close with him. I don't think there was any contact between the 2 drivers, but something happened, and Ascendancy now will be under pressure from top-tier newbies to try to get those tires back up in temperature. Even though he does have those fresher tires, he's probably.
I think it may have been lag. Do you think it may have been a lag touch?
It could have been, yes. We've had that problem. So, and look
Meanwhile,
at Adizi and Cracky.
He's shoving his
Adizi
nose
and
up
Cracky
the
in the lead.
gearbox with Cracky Jr. 2/10. Oh, Adizi goes very wide. Saves it somehow. Loses all sorts of momentum going down the straight, but that was almost an incredibly unfortunate accident for the McLaren driver. Did you see that, Biggles?
I did catch that on board. Wow.
Thought he was going straight into the wall at one point. 6 laps to go here in Zandvoort. We've had great racing. We've had people messing up. Did DC just go into the wall? Nope. Okay, that was lag on my end.
A big
for me,
lock-up.
DC just went straight into the wall at that hairpin.
Oh, yeah, I've had that problem before. It looks like top tier noob as well is going to get past Ascendancy. So Ascendancy's dropping back and even further. A lot dropping back. He's boxed. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry, Biggles. Don't worry. He didn't mess up again.
I'm getting excited. Top tier noob goes really, really wide there. Killam's going to be all over the back of him, ready to kill him. Too soon? Biggles giggles.
Don't kill him. All right, so Adizi once again on the rear of Cracky Jr. So, gonna try and get a better exit going through that final couple of turns this time, as last time he almost ended his race with 6 to go. So, get a good run, braking at about the 50-meter board, taking a late apex, getting on the curb, not getting huge oversteer, but further back than last time, but using the overtake with 5 laps to go. Nope, doesn't use all the overtake because Cracky Jr. still has 0 ERS. If only you knew how much ERS your opponent had while you're in car.
Well,
Cracky
you're telling
Jr.,
on perhaps on the air. You shouldn't do that.
If Adizi is listening to this stream
might be
while
listening.
racing, well, I'm a commentator, so I'm allowed to say what I
you're
want.
allowed to.
And I'll say, if Adizi knew that Cracky Jr. has no ERS in his car, me personally, I would be lighting up my overtake button.
Well, you've heard it.
Down that main... Oh, yellow flags as Vetchins is out of the race. Will that be a VSC or a safety car?
This is the closest
we've
we've seen a DZ now pushing that pressure on. Let's go on board with him again. These guys have been keeping. These guys have been making this racing very, very crackling, entertaining. Shall we say? That's probably the worst pun I've ever had.
That one wasn't that good.
Don't pay that one.
The rest of your race has been incredible. This one, All right. So, Adizi, it looks like Cracky Jr. is consistently getting better runs, but how much longer can he stay on those mediums? Do you think maybe he'll get a puncture?
Guys on Twitch, come on. I'm not a driver. I'm up in the commentary box. I'm in air conditioning. I'm not sweating.
Right. Lighting up the overtake button, just like I said. Here goes Veterans. Adizi down the inside. Adizi keeping his wheel in there. Oh, just can't get it, but once again, back on the overtake. Right behind him, will he send it into the hairpin? No, just couldn't make the move stick. Now 3/10 behind with 4 to go.
He doesn't have the traction. Obviously, that's the hards and the softs. You know that the mediums. Mediums do have about half a second advantage, but at the moment, they must be starting to fall off the cliff.
Oh, also, Galapagos is on the rear of Apollodoro, so it looks like the Ferrari. The Ferrari is going to stay in... oh, what's going on?
That's Buddha. Past Gimp.
Ooh. Yeah, Galapagos is also 3/10 behind Apollodoro, so the Ferrari going to try and sneak back onto the podium. That is not the battle. We kind of have to watch the battle for the lead here between Adizi and Cracky Jr. Try and get him pushing the Red Bull through the chicane. Oh, it's so aggravating following someone through there when you're faster. But now look at that. 2.5 tenths behind the Red Bull. 43% ERS to 20, but already using it all. Here comes Adizi with the overtake button on as well. Opening DRS. Cracky Jr. is out of his ERS now. Adizi's lost it all too. We'll try to go around the outside. His matchup gets a time penalty. Cracky Jr. sends it with a switchback move with Adizi. Adizi!
He's done
back into the lead in the McLaren. What a move! Capitalizing on Cracky Jr. going deep, trying to defend. And now the McLaren will have to try and break the DRS on that Red Bull.
Wow, he's been following that car for so long now and made the move stick, even with a little error going to that corner as well, but somehow just made it work. That means to show Cracky's really going to be under pressure on 19 laps on mediums. This is when that right call.
Killer's just gone by top tier noob.
They're still battling it out. They're side by side. You can see on my telemetry here.
Yeah.
Top tier noob still behind a Killer.
Completed the move now, but it was a quite nice move around the down the inside.
And Galapagos is potentially sniffing a podium position here.
Adizi's got another penalty.
Oh, that's cost him the race. 2 laps to go. Now he's going to get on.
2 to go. He has to pull out 2 seconds.
He has to do a last lap Lando here.
He does. But does he have the ERS to do it?
He has 6 seconds of penalties, and then Cracky has 3 seconds of penalties. So if Cracky's well aware of it right now, he can just relax, wipe that sweat off his forehead, because he potentially at the moment will be the man on the top step. What can Galapagos do? Galapagos is going to be sniffing a potential podium here. No penalties between him and Apollo up ahead. So he knows it. Only got 2 laps to go. The Ferrari driver trying to give it everything he possibly can. He's got those fresh tires.
If only Galapagos knew, he could have won this race if he stayed out again. I'm telling you. Galapagos would have won this race if he stayed out and didn't pit. It's a shame. But maybe he had to. So now, 1.4 seconds between Adizi and Cracky Jr. The tires are going off. There's a Mercedes going very slowly. He needs to pull out another 1.5 seconds in the next lap and a half. Although Adizi has just set his personal best second sector of the race, so he knows. He knows.
Yeah, he's on the radio to Jeff's secret. Who knows? How do you manage to telemetry in race engineer these guys?
With great difficulty. Right. Adizi lighting up his ERS. Cracky Jr. not quite using it. So down into turn 1, 1.8 seconds. I'll have to find 1.2 seconds on the final lap here in Zandvoort. It's Adizi versus Cracky Jr. on penalties. I saw that penalty thing come up. It's Chewy QC getting a 3-second time penalty.
Let's go on board with Adizi. Let's go on board with him as he's going to finish the final lap.
Of course. The gap all around 2 seconds now, but can he find another second in the next 2 sectors? It looks like Cracky Jr. just needs to hold on right now, and he'll just be able to get it. But he's making those medium tires last an absolute lifetime.
It's almost on the 2. There's a back marker of Buddha. Now. So Buddha might add a bit of DRS as well to help.
Will he have DRS? He will have DRS.
He will have DRS. So what an advantage
DRS
there.
And overtake. So he's going to gain about 0.5 of a second maybe.
2.2, 2.3.
We're watching this gap. Adizi through the final few corners. Looks like Cracky Jr. got a decent run. All right, who can hook up the final few corners? It's a half a second. It's a half a second, Miggles. It's a good run.
He's
going
to McLaren. Last lap, Lando. Adizi.
No, Cracky Jr. Cracky Jr. made a good run across the line. Adizi wins on track, but Cracky Jr. is going to win the Dutch Grand Prix.
Cracky did it. Wow. Where's Apollodorus?
Now we go to the battle for third. Apollodorus and Galapagos. Can anything happen? Galapagos are driving the car like a madman. It's going to be Apollodorus in the racing point, getting third place for the Rolled R's. Galapagos finishing fourth. And ooh, kill him! Someone we love saying his name. It looks like we'll finish fifth in front of top tier noob, I believe. Any penalties there?
Yeah, he will. No, he will. He will finish first. Top tier noob has penalties. Will finish in P6, as you'll see there. Simply.
Oh, he did. Destroys this wheel going across the line, celebrating that top 5 finish for the Alfa Romeo team. Simply Air league owner on. Oh!
Now they're just having fun at the expense of the teams.
Oh, that's again and again. All right. Oh, Lord, that's the most expensive wreckfest I've ever seen.
Yeah, you've just witnessed about £30 million in damage occurring to the teams, but what a thrilling race. Oof.
Yeah. Chewy QC will be the last one to cross the line, and we'll finish in 16th. Unfortunately, quite a quiet day for my Haas drivers. I wish I could have commentated over them more, but I guess not. Cracky Jr. playing the race to I wonder what Chewy QC is actually thinking crossing the line, seeing that massive wreckfest that happened up there.
Only 3 retirements as well. Who will be the driver of the day? There it is. Miko was on tour around Zandvoort, and so he gets to put that Dutch, the Netherlands stamp in his passport. Selfie for sure. Send it to your fans, sir. What a cracking race.
Yep. Looks like Cracky Jr. Maybe he's taking after his old man. Who knows? Maybe Cracky Sr. had a few tricks up his sleeve that he taught his son.
Yeah, we definitely need to highlight all these super great cracking puns that you had there. So from P2 to P1.
You know what's going to happen, right? You know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? I know Lawrence. He's going to make clips of every single pun and send it to me and say, be embarrassed.
You want to you want to run through the... Take a breath and run through that grid.
So just at the end, Cracky Jr. and Adizi with a final lap battle, getting 1 and 2. Adizi winning on track with that extra time penalty, costing him the win by 7.5 tenths of a second. Apollodorus 10 seconds back on countback, finishes on the podium. Galapagos, if only he knew, could have finished in fourth. It could have finished in first, finishes fourth. Boo Killam gets a nice little 5th place. The top tier noob finishes in 6th. Good job from the noob. Simply Air, my Canadian friend, once again in 7th place. Matchum Ascendancy and Vampire, which Miko on tour finished out the points. The Bud, Gimp, Hollers, Seaback, Ignite, Chewy QC, and Neves finished out the race finishers. And Vetchins, Stizzy, and Santiago, who set the fastest lap, by the way, a 32.5 second lap, are the non-finishers.
Yeah. All right, let's going to go to the interviews. And
and that is the race.
So, be right back in just a minute. We need to hydrate, don't we? That's thrilling.
Yeah, we do, actually. All right. We do.
Back in 1 minute. Let's go to the interviews with these drivers.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the post-race interviews after that thrilling Dutch Grand Prix. We are joined in here by two rather interesting people, and we're going to start off with our race winner. Cracky Jr., you did everything you needed to do. You got lucky when you needed to. How did you feel at the end there? You knew that Deezy had penalties in front, so did you know you just had to stay within 3 seconds, or were you still trying to win the race on track?
From that point, I knew I wouldn't be able to win the race on track. My tyres were pretty gone. I pitted pretty early and had to do like a 20-lap stint on my mediums, so I just wanted to stay within the 3 seconds. So I was pretty static as I crossed the line. It's just 7/10. So
For just for little reasons, I said I didn't think you can make it on mediums for that long. Just tell us what percentage were your mediums actually on at the end?
believe it or not, they weren't actually that bad. I think they're about 60%, 65%.
Really?
Yeah, and the setup worked really well because it had a lot of pace and it also conserved my tyres quite well. So
That's why you were able to make your tires last. In a sense, it couldn't.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy because I just took a setup and modified it in like 3 hours. That's all the practice I've had, so I'm really happy with this result, to be honest.
And that's why you're the championship leader right now, extending your lead by quite a large margin. It's
Thank you very
another.
much.
Yeah. Right. Thank you a lot, Biggles. You have anything to ask, Cracky?
Cracking job, mate. Thank you very much.
I'm loving these puns. I'm loving these puns.
You wait to hear the highlights of Secret before what he was saying during the race. Oof.
Oh damn! I can't wait.
I was all giggles as the Biggles.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Right. So, thank you a lot, Cracky, and congratulations on extending the lead.
All right, thank you very much. In a bit.
Yep. And now, our other interviewee, not actually a driver, a race engineer. We are joined by Jim Bob. Jim Bob, mind just telling us, so who are you being a race engineer for, and how is it being a race engineer in an F1 2020 LNR league race?
I was race engineer for Simply, so you've had essentially the full Red Bull team to interview, but yeah.
Okay, we're actually in here with Christian Horner, by the way, everyone.
But it was interesting. Apart from our team telemetry wasn't exactly working as planned, I wasn't getting the data, so I was kind of having to communicate with him. So that made it a little bit more difficult to know when to pit and when not to. I think our main struggle there, we've had zero team talk as well, and I was very surprised to see that Cracky was running the same strategy that we were, but just pulled it off a little bit better. We should have planned on that safety car to stay out, but unfortunately at the time his tires were at his front left was at 80%. Our setup was not as tire conservative as Cracky's, and so I think that's mainly due to the keyboard problem. But yeah, so we kind of messed up a little bit there with the safety car, and then when he came out of the pits, which we managed to time correctly, I was very impressed with the pit crew there with only a 4-second pit stop. When we came out, the safety car, we ended up having a little bit of a bump with one of the drivers that did do some wing damage. So we had to compensate for that as well. So yeah.
Thank you so much for your insight, as being a race engineer is something quite interesting and a lot of drivers would quite appreciate. So you're doing quite amazing work for the wonderful drivers that we have, the wonderfully talented drivers that we have, even in this development tier, not even in the pro tier yet. So thank you a lot for that, Jim Bob.
Yeah, you're welcome, and I hope that other people think of becoming a race engineer as well. And also, I do suggest having 2 screens and have the stream open, because your puns and also watching that battle with Cracky and Igneous, is it? That was just it. I couldn't stop watching. I actually went quiet for a bit. I was quite a bad race engineer just watching the stream.
So, well, look out, Jeff, Jim Bob. And we have 2 Jeffs, actually, because Secret was giving a lot of race engineering tips as well from the booth. I actually think secretly that Secret is Jeff. So, I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
find
you-
I
out.
think,
helped me out a
I think
lot.
that might have by when conveniently the lap after I mentioned, hey, by the way, you should be using all your ERS. Adizi all of a sudden started using a lot more ERS.
Yeah, we're gonna find out, won't we, Jim Bob? Let's keep an eye on this man in the commentary box. And wow,
Now, thank you so much, Jim Bob. Thank you. That is a great insight. Now, Biggles, actually, I've just had a knock on the door, and it looks like Cracky Jr. actually wants to add something into his little interview. So if we can let him in here, give him the keys to the room, we could get Cracky Jr. back in here, maybe.
I changed the combination. Now here he's
Oh,
back.
yeah, there he is. Okay, Cracky, you got the door open finally. Okay, thanks. So, Cracky, you've slipped a message to me through the door saying you wanted to give me one last little word of wisdom from our race winner. So, what is it? What's going on?
I just wanted to say before the stream ends, thank you so much to my race engineers, Jumpy Wizard and Spooky Boy Chris. They helped me so much in that race, so just a massive thanks to them. And,
Absolutely wonderful to hear.
All right, thank you.
That's it. All right. Again, see you, race winner.
Oh,
And now,
are you beginning to notice a trend that some of these winners have race engineers? Hint,
I am
hint.
starting. I think I gotta get a race engineer, but
Shout
the
out
problem is
there.
the guy I use.
Jim Bob, post
Problem
your
is-
resume online. Race engineering available.
I was going to.
Here's the problem.
I was going to say, Racing Point don't need their own race engineers because their drivers are the race engineers.
Well, that's Mr.
Well, actually, saying
Adero,
that-
as we know,
that's
that
Adero, yeah.
runs another league. That's the European League of Alliant Motorsports. So, congratulations to have you around. sir.
Adiro didn't even need the combination to the door. He just climbed in through the window. I didn't even notice him.
He owns the building, so that's not a problem.
Ah!
So it means I can evict you from here for once.
You could if you want.
Oh no!
Please.
There you go. He's gone.
He did. He
But
got
we'll
rid
allow
of-
you back in.
So
I have-
anyway, it looks like that, and you could say this secret. I'm going to go out with, like, as Jeff would say, well, secretly Jeff's secret, that after that race, I'm going to need to lie down, because that was absolutely thrilling.
Yeah, so if I golfed this morning, I've been up for 12 hours. That's not normal. I gotta go to bed.
Golf.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, okay, yeah, you know what? I played something slow-paced, now I'm gonna go play something fast-paced. And by fast-paced, I mean the F1 race that I just commentated. That was an absolutely beautiful race, and that we were so happy happened, so thank you. I believe that's it from everyone?
Yes, it
Yep.
is.
It is, yeah. So thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in to the stream of Late Night Racing Development Tier.
Presented by Alante Motorsports.
Atlante Motorsports as well. And don't forget, there's also more racing to come for AM Americas up soon. So if you thought you had enough racing tonight, you haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, in an hour and a half, there's going to be more racing going on this very Twitch channel. And if you're not watching this on a Twitch channel, let me know who pirated this onto YouTube. I will find him. Anyway, thank you everyone so much for watching, and I bid you all a very pleasant good night.